Hello, hello. Okay, there we go. Oh. All right, there we go again.
Is a model for the United States. What is it doing? It's trying to hold on to a colonial situation. The epithet that many use against Israel, that you are an example of settler colonialism, that's correct. That's right. They are. They're not different in that way from Rhodesia or South Africa. And what happened to all of them? Whoops. Israel is arguably one of the last remaining settler colonialisms where the fight is still going on between the settlers and the people they displaced.
That the government, whatever can't stand us black people, he doing everything in the world to make black man be extinct. But I'm gonna tell you one thing, us black people gonna survive. Yeah. So fuck everybody.
Like I said, you go to the history of European civilizations. 250 years is how long they last before they implode because of their greed, because of their violence, because of an inability to let others be, including themselves. If they didn't have brown and black people to hate, they would hate themselves.
Damn white boys out there. Most of them is psychopaths and all that. They'll kill your mama's mama and you.
Decent white folk that still don't know they're racist.
What the hell you want here, hunky? You got to pray to God and tell God your rent due. Any God that didn't know your rent was due ain't God.
Some people, they feel like you almost have to sell your soul to get fame, or is it just hard work, or is it luck, is it consequence, is it?
No, most of us in sold our soul. We just called it something else.
Nigga get mad. Say, motherfucker, what you mean you ain't gonna let me in this funky joint? Much money I done spent in here, nigga. I knew your mama when she was hoeing. Hump, baby. Shit, bet I do it over time. Say that, nigga. Shit. Bet the bar, off time. Shit, boy, I'm trying to make me some money. Boy, I'm hungry as a hog need. Slap Jesus. Shit, gotta be a Jesus, cause too many black folks.
Europeans come to this continent, literally ethnically cleanse the indigenous population out of existence, kill them on a scale that has hardly been equaled, and refer to them as savages. That's an achievement. Who's the savage? The first time I encountered this was in a little town in Massachusetts called Deerfield. It's a reconstruction of what that little town looked like in colonial America. And in front of each house is a plaque that explains something about this house. And then description. On the 18th of October of 1702, the savages attacked. The first time I saw this, the savages. You come in here, destroy everything these people have, and they are the savages. That's an interesting move.
It is.
I hadn't thought of that before.
Think about it.
You knew I was crazy. Why would you do stuff to make me act crazy, then complain about me being crazy when you knew I was crazy?
Greetings. This is Big Pontiac, and welcome to the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am the holder of the infinite sacred ball game that was created by the Hero Twins. And I am that one and only Galactic Daddy-O, welcoming each and every one of you to my galactic patio that reaches from Minnesota to the universe. All right, greetings. Sorry it took so long to get this shit together. My son was fucking with my shit, while I was gone. So let's go through who's here. What's up, Joey? Thank you for joining.
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
What's up, PJ Allen?
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
Dr. Sinister.
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
Yeah, my son had unhooked my mixer from the computer. And I got to get on his ass too. I'm looking at my computer showing all my memories full on his outline, on his channel or whatever, his profile. That's what I'm looking for, profile, on his profile. So got to talk to him about that. And tonight's favorite cigar is Acid Blondie. And if those of you are Clint Eastwood fans or remember watching The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, he chews on a little cigar like this. Smokes it sometime and he chews on it. It's funny how I'd forgot all about my dad would chew on cigars too. I had a great uncle. I had a great uncle, and I think that was the first time I really saw a dude just chew on a cigar all day. And then when I was in Greensboro, I used to work with a dude in the water department. And he used to chew on it. He would smoke it, but it's funny, he would chew on it until noon, and then around noon he'd smoke the motherfucker. And so this is the Acid Blondie. Smoke them if you want them. Man, I bought some non-alcoholic beer. The shit costs it costs more than my Elliott Nest. And the shit tastes like literally water. It tastes, I got a heavier beer. It tastes like worse than light beer, because light beer has a watery taste to it too. It kind of tastes like that. It reminds me of the stuff. Well, no, the stuff when I was in college, we would lose so much weight when football camp would start. They started giving us what was called, at first they called it near beer. That was the first time I ever came across it, was near beer. And so we were drinking that shit. And this kind of tastes like that shit I bought. Kind of tastes like that. It's got like 1% alcohol in it. 1% alcohol in it. So if you drink it's 0.5 per can. So if you drink all 6, you got about a 3 point. What would 6 be? Half? Yeah, about 3 gram or 3.3 of alcohol. So if you drink the 6-pack, you're not gonna get very, very buzzed at all. Well, we're into the Super Bowl weeks, and as I've been breaking down film. Oh no, let's get right into it. Yeah, let's get right into it. And let's see. This time of year, this nigga got some juice in it. This time of year, I think this is. Let me get back. Oh, okay. Let's check this out. Now let's check this out on the news. Let's see. I guess I'm late today. I've been gone all day. So, Pittsburgh Steelers part ways with Russell Wilson after disappointing season. So that means 2 teams owe this nigga money. Pittsburgh is still gonna owe him money, but the most money is gonna be by Denver. So Pittsburgh Steelers and Dredger's Asterisk, they had a good season. They fucking made the playoffs. Season 4-game losing streak and exiting playoffs. And he still made the playoffs. Oh, so that's to say the coach's ass, because they was getting on Tomlinson's ass. Okay. Steelers decided not to pursue 25. Steelers revealed that no discussion has taken place between the team and Wilson regarding his return. While some observers were caught off guard by his development, it reflects a board organization shift. The Steelers are now prioritizing a younger, dynamic quarterback. The announcement sparked reaction among fans. Many are relieved, viewing the decision as a necessary step forward. However, others has expressed concerns about limited availability of elite quarterbacks. And he really didn't play bad. It wasn't. You can't just put that shit on him. Pittsburgh media pie can lead in the future. So Pittsburgh got rid of his ass, and they still get Denver's still paying him. Denver's still paying him. This man was making damn near 60 a year. So yeah, that's what he definitely still getting that check. All his money was guaranteed from Denver. Denver ate 60, 70 million. So this brother is fucking K. He ain't worried about them. Oh, did I lose? Yeah, right here. Okay. So, I'm pretty sure I got the date here. Let's see if I got the name right. Garth Hudson. No, because I think this guy already, let's see, I don't think he died. Let's see, January 28th. Oh, yeah, I thought I wrote this down. What is his name? Ryan Moloney. Okay. So he is, so far we've got four. This is the fourth celebrity death I have counted. Third. And this would be, what is this nigga name? Ryan Maloney. You know, they gave him the three. So he's number 4. And Ryan Maloney, they said he died by suicide. January 28th. So he died like today or yesterday. Today. Or he died yesterday. Or he died, what is this? Wednesday? He died Monday. Tuesday? So, singer. Suicide is always suspicious. Let me see if they got any more here. So they said he died. He killed himself. Damn, that suit's screaming, ain't it? This suit is screaming on him. Whoever his stylist is, if he is his own stylist, buddy, you should have bought that a little extra bigger suit, buddy. Okay. That's one. All right. That's one. I wonder if I'm going to have to look everybody else up, or are they going to mention them here? Well, it says let's switch up. We got all night about these dead motherfuckers. Let's say about Reggie Miller. He took another broadcasting job. Well, let's see. I didn't hear this one. Reggie Miller recently found a new job as TNT broadcasting contract. Miller has agreed to become ABC's top commentator for its NBA coverage starting next year. Oh, Miller alongside Mike Tirico and Noah Eagle, who has already been announcing play-by-play. Rotate duties with Jamal Crawford, who's also joining NBC. Okay, Reggie Miller. Jumping off the TNT bandwagon. Don't blame him because his job was going. All right. Why does it do that? Okay. So far, it's been 4 deaths that I've counted. I'm trying to see if I can find some more. If not, I'll start putting the names in if it ain't on here. Let me see. I've got 4 celebrity deaths so far leading into the Super Bowl. Okay, so I'll have to put them in. Search web. Okay, the first one is... right here. Right here. Yeah, right here. Here we go. This is the first celebrity death, well, other than this one, but this is a guy named Eric Garth Hudson. He died the 21st. He was a multi-instrumental, best known for the keyboard and occasional sax. So, and even he wasn't that famous. Let me see. He was born. What's his famous song? Midway. He attended. What's his songs? I see Chess Studios. Okay. He recorded with Chess Studios. So he was a musician. Oh, he was with the band. Okay. Became an accomplished band. The Hawks became the band. Okay. Split from Hawkins, recorded 2 singles. So again, a musician. A musician. So that's the second death. That's the second. I got on my paper. All right. That is the second death. All right. And the other name I got is, let's see. I'll spell this. See if this comes up. Oh, it did. All right. This looked like a dude, but it's dressed like a woman. But Lynn Ban. She just passed away on the 20th. She wasn't even that old. She was in her 50s. But she played in what was it here? I saw Bling Empire. Lynn Ban was on Bling Empire. She was only in her 50s. All right. But she took a drink. She took a drink of the beast juice, so that's why. Her statement pieces included, and many others. Okay. Her clients included Beyonce, other musicians who wore her statement. Oh, she's a clother. She's a clothing person. Okay. Oh, so she's a clothing person, a career in fashion. Okay. So she's number 3. She's number 3. If you take a drink of the beast juice, it's on you. Hey, Blue Marvel, what's happening?
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
Benji, what's happening?
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
Wow, what's happening, Blue Marvel? Fellow Omic brother, fellow Jaguar brother. And the next person is, let's see. All right, here we go. The next person is Skagies. S, what's that? It's Y. Kegs. Oh, it's this cat here. Yeah, this is him. Yep. This guy was around my age. Let's see. Let's see. I'm pretty sure this is who I'm looking for. Skies. Yeah. No picture of him when he was young. Why? Yeah, this is him. So I have to find a picture of him. But the fourth one is John Skies, former Whitesnake and Tin Lizzy guitarist. I did write his date when he died. He died in 120. He died 120. And again, you know, Whitesnake was one of them big hair bands. Fame has died from cancer. He was 65, only really a year or 2 years older than me. He remembered, man, exceptional. Began his career as a heavy metal band, Tigers of Pantang, before Softness Sounds Slightly for an album with Tin Lizzy, and eventually Whitesnake's smashingly successful album. He's ultimately ousted, which means fired, with several other band members. After his relationship with vocalist David Cloverdale became strained. Embarking on his own, Styles founded Blue Murder, another hard rock group, and recorded 7 albums before breaking in 94. I don't know if this is him. He spent the remainder of his career reuniting briefly with Tin Lizzy, recording solo. His strumming, powerless, and writing talent behind. So no picture of him. Let's see. See if there's a picture of him. We don't want to buy you. Okay, so this cat here is a year older than me. Look at the big hair. Women and men back then had big hair. Now, in the 80s, I didn't have big hair. I wore my hair close. So, So this is, you know, the fourth death. And I'm saying, you know, we got a whole nother week to go. So every year, you know, we count these deaths leading up to the Super Bowl. Now, this guy had cancer. He could have died any time. But also, just like, now remember, when Al Jarreau died, it was reported that he was dying. And it really looks like they kept him alive until it was till it was awards, Grammy awards. It looked like they kept him alive up to the Grammys. That's what it looked like. Oh, I was like, what is this going on behind me? So, I mean, it always, and that's where the gematria people help out. Because you start breaking down the gematria to these stories, and then you see that this is what they it's always related. It's always related. And then they break down how it's related to Monica Lewinsky. Look like she got some work done. She's the most famous cocksucker in the world. I don't know if y'all remember the lady from Bugsy Siegel's movie. She was getting Senate investigated for mob affiliation, everything. Her name was Virginia something. And they asked you, they said, she's being questioned by the Senate on camera. And they said, well, her name is Virginia something. She was stealing money from Bugsy Siegel, and Bugsy didn't know it because Bugsy was fucking around with her. And they said, well, Miss Virginia, what is so good about you? She said, sir, I am the best cocksucker in the world. This is on camera in the Senate. That's what she told him. Virginia something. Virginia Hill, I think, was her name. But this is probably number two. You know, she believed in letting men put cigars up her. Looks like she's had little Botox in there. Because this chick's got to be close to 50. So she has a podcast, Reclaiming Monica Lewinsky, with conversation with guests in the means, blah, 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 blah. This is part of where we're buried, February 18th. So you can see Monica Lewinsky, February 18th, y'all. See what you got to say. And the sad thing about it, Bill can't even get near it now. He's old, crusty looking motherfucker. He can't even get near it. He'd be like, hey, just let me smell it, Monica. You think that she let him smell it? Let me smell it, Monica. Let me get near it. It's like Joe Kennedy, he had one of them bad strokes. And after his stroke, he couldn't walk and talk. And I think one of his sides shut down. He still had a hole with him. And finally, when all his power went away and he didn't say, his wife fired the chick that was probably, still getting hand jobs and blow jobs while he, had his stroke. And then Rose said she had enough and got rid of her. Man, don't this movie look stupid? This Flight Risk, isn't that what it's called? Flight Risk. I wouldn't go see that shit with Marky Mark with the shaved head. I wouldn't see that shit. I ain't even go see Den of Thieves. They said it was slow, which I have no doubt it was. I have no doubt it was slow. So it looks like that's all the celebrity deaths at this time. All right. Just getting a little bit of football in. Not much. I just want to get a couple let's see if I can just get a couple of sets is really what I'm looking for. I just want to get a set. Okay, this might give it to me. I don't think so. Okay, let's see if I can go further. No, it doesn't look like it. Yeah, right here they don't give it to me. I just want to get some sets, and it doesn't look like it. They screaming about it being fixed. They're not giving me any sets. See if I can. Oh, here we go. Here we go. All right. All right, so I mean, this is really what we're going to, this is what the Eagles is going to be facing most of the time. I mean, they do sometimes keep a back here, but most of the time they're going to face tight sets like this. And one thing that it does do, a lot of times when teams pass, you take a wider, you take a smaller space between the players, gap. You take a smaller gap for passing, you take a bigger gap for running. So when you're going to run, you generally take a bigger gap. When you pass, you directly. But look how tight they are. And then sometimes they even throw a tight end right here. But this dude right here is the key. His helmet is supposed to be with the center's butt. And look at this. He is not. He is too far back. Look, both of them are too far back. His helmet's definitely not with his butt. And this is what and this guy always jumps every play. Every play he jumps before the snap. Every play. Now, you see how they're attacking it here. 4-man front. Press here. So, NFL ain't too happy about me using their sets. So, let's see if I can get. Okay. All right. This did it for me. So, it is the one back. We do have the one back set. And this is basically their offense. They'll put him here. They'll go tight trips. And you see how they're attacking this tight trips. Almost like a zone look right here with the tight trips. He's looking at the receivers. You can tell he ain't blitzing, you know. But this is basically their attack. And he's more in the eye. If you look here, the back is more in the eye position instead of being right here. So you know he's either going to run a draw or I mean, I doubt he's going to be in the passing on this play just because he's so far back. And then even to pick up, and you see they're not blitzing unless they blitz him. And then on this play, they didn't blitz him. That would have been the perfect time to blitz him. Let me see if did they blitz him. I don't think they did. But that would have been that would have been something. Let's see. Okay, what are you giving me? Yeah, see, they didn't blitz. They didn't blitz him on that play. And that would have been open. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay. In this set, if this guy blitzes, now what they did is they crossed this guard and brought this guard over. If he'd have blitzed, the guard wouldn't have made it because this guard is pulling. And it was still a pass, but they pulled this guy. And if he would have blitzed, he'd have had it clear. So if that's what I would be looking, if I was looking at this film, I would be looking to blitz the backs. If they're in this tight set, because like right now, if they're in this where he's the receiver on the receiver side, I would look to blitz him. I would drop this linebacker over. I would look to blitz him. Because Mahone, I mean, he would have tackled Mahone easy. But instead, he bails out. So, NTAT channel. How you doing? Thank you for joining, Holmes.
You can't get too close to Michael. It's a foul.
Oh, okay. Well, safe travels. Definitely safe travels on your way home. Definitely safe travels. So that's one way I would attack him, because if they blitz the safety here, even with the lineman pulling, there was nothing. It was nothing. He couldn't have done anything about it. So I would look to be blitzing them safeties. And I'm sorry, this is really poor. I'm getting really poor examples. So I'm just trying to catch the different sets that we might be seeing. Okay, commercial. Because, of course, everybody wants to talk about the refs. And the refs, again, they made a little difference. It wasn't as big a difference as the game before. But let's see. Okay, he's analyzing. He's not giving me any sets. Yeah, he's not giving me any sets. Yeah. Now, I think one thing that I think has to be considered is Barkley is still going to be able to run. And you got one of the best run offenses in the league. Again, the center is banged up. So I think, that's what's got to be considered, No highlights. Let's get some highlights. There we go. So I can get some more sets. Here we go. This should give me just a few sets. Oh, NTAT, homeboy. Thank you for coming.
Can't get too close to my voice of fire.
Biz, thank you for coming.
You can't get too close to my voice of fire.
Homeboy, give me what Dark Man, like, email me or leave me a message on this channel when you get home. I want to know, Dark Man X, what is Dark Man X's channel? Because I think it would be a good time for somebody to reshare that Nazi salute that he made several years ago. I couldn't find his channel, so I wanted to highlight that again. What did you say, Zion? Thank you for joining.
You can't get too close to my...
Them holding calls is going to be the game. Well, yeah, especially if Barkley does a long run and they call it back. We know that's some bullshit. Barkley does a long run and they start calling that bullshit on him to take away scores. Because Kansas City is not, let me get this going. I mean, they're not going to stop Philadelphia. Philadelphia has just as many tools, has just as many big time players. All right. And this is what I was saying, what they run. This is what they run. See how it's basically trips to both sides. If you really look at what's happening, they started off as trips on the right side, but then they switched it into a twin. They switched, and this is what you pretty much see is they run tight sets almost every play. Now, this is interesting. With Kelsey here, they finally scoot this tackle up, the one that jumps every play, number 74. Look at where this is where he should be every play. As a matter of fact, the right tackle is back too far. And they never call it on them because, again, their helmets, he's right there where he's supposed to be. His helmet should be where his butt or back is. This guy's helmet isn't. This guy's helmet isn't. He's back further. So this is what they give you every time. They give you a pretty... Now, look how this time with the back is closer. And, again, we're getting hit with a 4... more like a 4-3, really, if you count 1, 2, 3. And, he's guarding here. He's really guarding there. And again, think about it like this. If they put him on the line, because he's going to go way out here. But if they put him on the line, they're going to be susceptible to the corner blitz all night. And the Eagles have not ran corner blitzes. So this corner blitz, I mean, from back here, still, it's a risk. But if they stepped him up and started corner blitzing him, and even if you shot a linebacker, because you can see all this is only linebacker, looks like right here. This is 40 something. He's the only linebacker. Hey, Jamar, what's happening?
You can't get too close to my voice of fire.
Last time the Chiefs killed the Eagle. Yeah, that's right. They did. Quasiquoto. They did. I agree. That's a good catch. That's a good catch. Hey, Brother Nick is driving, so, they know y'all like him and stuff, but he's driving, so keep that in mind. Could be a redemption story for the mighty Eagle. That's a good point. And more what you're hearing is chief fatigue. Stephen A. Smith was the first one to call it Mahone fatigue. And that's what a lot of you getting from it. It's like they're tired of the Taylor Swift. They're tired of Mahomes. They're tired of Kelsey. So, but where's the money? So this is what they're going to attack with all day. And I'll say it's very efficient. As I showed Sunday night, they really attack very efficiently out of this tight set. There's nothing really on the outside deep. Everything is concentrating on clearing these people out and under routes. Everybody drops back and they get Kelsey under. They love to run that. It's almost like a safety valve. And again, they're not blitzing it. They're not blitzing. So let me see if I can show the progressions. All right, this is perfectly what I was talking about right here. This is almost some of the East Coast, West Coast offense. This is the West Coast offense, because look at where they're hitting. They're making running plays. You know, they're using pass plays as running plays, these short passes as running plays. And I think Andy Reid is part of Walsh's West Coast offense. But this, again, that's why they run out of this tight set right here, right here. See, he just runs a little dig. He runs both of them ran digs. One ran a short dig. He ran a little deeper dig. One dude's dig was only about a yard. The other dig is 3 yards here. And so we're going to see this all day, this kind of way to attack it. And again, he's not quick enough to react. He was back too far guarding him. And so they give, it's really pretty simple. They take what the defensive gives them. And what the defense has to understand is their number one is the only real speedster. The rest of these receivers ain't terribly fast. So, similar to the new presidency coming in, disavowing the wicked, tired politics could be something there. The eagle could represent all the new age of DT becoming the late president. Well, I mean, this is what shows. This is the part that shows doom. You come in on King Day. Jimmy Carter just died, so everything is half mask. You dig? So maybe. Remember, Snoop wrote a song, and then Kathy Griffin had a thing with his head, if y'all remember that. And as I talked before, it's like people don't understand affirmative action and DEA stuff is for mostly European women. Affirmative action was given to European women over because of Bill Clinton. Before that, it was for minorities, but Bill Clinton came in and said, "Well, these women are minorities," which they really weren't, but that's who it became. And DEA information, and this is what I don't understand is they're trying to get rid of something that, okay, so I own a store. I need to know who my demographics and where I put my store. And I need to know my demographics so I know how to stock my store. And to give you an example, like I live near, one of our Cub Foods is getting rebuilt. They tore the other one down. They're going to rebuild it. Target and Cub and Kowalski's, we got a Kowalski's. They don't carry greens in my area. You know why? Because the DEI stuff showed that people in this area don't buy greens. And you're only going to get these statistics from DEI, excuse me. That's the big part of it, is statistics. And it's helping mostly European women. It's making sure they get into the boardroom. That's who it helps. So it's like he with those things, he's shooting his self in the foot, because a lot of women, are going to be upset over it. All right, here's another formation that we're seeing. Now, this time he's behind Mahomes. More than likely, now look at what you're seeing is, again, they're only rushing 4, but they're tight, and that keeps all the defense tight. And I would press. Like, I wouldn't be so far off Kelsey here. I would have pressed him, but I don't know. I don't know if he's going to give, a block or not, it's hard to say. But they're twins to this side, and is this 2 tight one? Yeah, and they're 2 tight ends on that side. They're double tight ends on this side. He's taking the place of a flanker, because you got the center, guard, tackle, tight end. So they're still hitting you with twins on both sides. But look how tight their splits are. I mean, look at the split these receivers take. And they run this all. This is basically their offense, is to run tight splits. Because again, they're not a heavy blocking team, and really, why you really want to when you run a run, when you're going to run a run, why the linemen spread out their splits a little bit, is because, again, you kind of want to have those gaps if you got to pull somebody or you're trapping, all those kind of plays. They usually run a tighter spread for a run play, but here you see everything's tight. Everything's tight. And here, this, like, if I'm looking at this, I'm thinking they're trying some kind of run over here with the double tight. And again, we look like we're 1st and 10, I think, is looking at this. Yeah, the NFL ain't been too happy with me using their plays. Okay. And again, look at what he's looking for. All them are going with the action towards Kelsey. All them are going towards Kelsey. He's put out a position here, and this is what they're looking for right here. Because they know everybody's running towards Kelsey's side. You see, everybody's going towards Kelsey's side, so they're trying to get him in there. And again, this is what they get. They get the short, skinny post is what they call this. They get the skinny post. Man for man. He's out of the play because he's not looking at Mahomes. He's looking at this guy when he could have stayed in here. Force Mahomes. Like, if he would have stayed in his position, force Mahomes to do what? You know, this is the safety valve, though, which I wouldn't have went for the safety valve there. I would have let the play before I started chasing. And all of them, before they started chasing, they should have really looked at what he was doing instead of just, reacting. And again, the skinny post. The skinny post. Now I want to get one where they're playing defense. Let's see where I can get the Buffalo. Want to show Buffalo set. Well, I want to show the defense and how they're going to be vulnerable to the run because they really haven't faced a running attack like they're going to face. Cook is good, but Cook is not powerful, and Cook don't really make you miss. Not like Saquon does. And just having the overall burst. All right. He's really, this number 32 for the Chiefs, he is really a safety. They got him playing linebacker, but he's a safety. The only real linebackers is 53. Now here again, they're running 1, 2, 3, 4. You've got him on the tight end, head up. So it's almost a 5-man front because you could blitz him. And he's man to man. But again, they almost run the same as the Chiefs. They don't spread people out. Now the Eagles are going to spread their receivers out. They don't run from these tight sets. They spread the Eagles. They spread out. So, Barkley will get away from you. Yeah, exactly. I mean I have the greatest run of all time on my channel with showing Gale Sayers against the Colts, the Baltimore Colts. I don't know, that move of Barkley jumping over that dude backwards while his back is faced to him and jumping over him backwards, that might be the best move that we've ever seen. That run there might be the greatest run of all time. I mean, really, making people, and that's elusiveness is what a back has to have. And as I've said before about Barry Sanders, and it might be part of the script where Barry Sanders was to lose a lot of yards on purpose. And Barry Sanders would be the all-time leading rusher if he just went down and quit taking them losses. As I've said before, Tom Brady broke his record, but to that point, Barry Sanders had the most lost yards of anybody in history because he would run backwards. But short people tend to run backwards too. Short people, that what I noticed, that's their way of trying to get away is to run backwards. Oh, yeah, that backwards jump was crazy. You can get that at they're selling pictures of that now. You can get that picture or get it blowed up. I'm telling you, that was one of the best moves of all time, no doubt. And so we're not gonna see this tight. Because they spread it out because they've got the dangerous receivers. So they're going to have to spread out them damn self. And they depend on. Now look at these splits for Buffalo. See how their splits are not as tight? See? The splits are a little longer and they're in a pro set. And I think I went over this play before. And they're in a pro set. See them in the pro set? And this is the way they attack the pro set. And let's see, are we going to, let's see, what does he end up doing? Okay, and then what they end up doing is running an under. And we know Smith would do this under all day. They ran an under out of this. Again, it was very tight. You got this linebacker covering the flanker. You got this line. Well, this must be another DB, or is this the linebacker? Is this 53? I can't tell this number. 30, because I think that's 32 there. And we got two men that basically are open for first down. Two men basically open for a first down. See, and everybody pushed back. And then with the Eagles, they're going to be pushed back further. Now, one tell, I must admit, Matrix shit. Hey, yeah, definitely Matrix shit. Zion, you knew? Barkley can get a Techno Bowl on you, yeah. What's happening, Zion?
You can't get too close to Michael. You can't get too close to Michael. It's a foul.
So let's see if we can find it. Oh, here we go. Okay. Let's see who's doing this. I'm going to take another hit. All right. Let's start from the beginning. All right. Now, as I was just trying to say, I was trying to show they don't really run tight sets. You see how he's more flared out? He's a little more flared out. It's not that tight a set. The splits are kind of short because they're passing. Again, they're only attacking 4. And then he's equal to Hurst. So this is a tight end up here. Up top is a tight end. And that's Brown here. And then we got Smith, and this is 82, 83. So we're kind of still in a twins on both sides. We're still twins. And you know, I must say it's a pretty tight set. You know, as a receiver, I would be 3 yards outside of the out of bounds. If I was, you know, if I played the X, Z, X, Y, it's X, Y, Z. Yeah, if I was the X receiver, because Z is normally the flanker. Y is normally the tight end. So if I played the X, I would be like 2-3 yards from out of bounds. I would be way up here, you know. So, and this could be, you know, allude to the East Coast offense, or West Coast, excuse me, to run this tight set. And so I'm gonna let this play. I might take another hit, but I'm gonna let it play. All along, you're looking for Barkley. Look at this. Oops, 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 oops. Oh, I'm telling you, that could be the nicest play ever. That could be the best run we've ever, or this is a catch, actually. This is actually a catch. And you know what's interesting, if you think back about it, check this out. Remember what happened the first game where he dropped that touchdown that could have won the game? He dropped, was it the extra point or the touchdown, their first game where he dropped it? Yeah, we should have known he was going to have a good year. We should have known. I mean, but this play here is just bananas. This is bananas. Look at that. Strong back, going to put his shoulder and forearm into him. I run through arm tackles. Look at that. I spin off you. look at how far back he jumps backwards. Look where he is compared to the defender. Look how far where he had made up his mind he could jump over this dude. And then they didn't even get a full hit on him. That's got to be one of the best runs of all time, y'all. It's got to be up there with one of the best runs of all time. So I don't know. It's kind of early. Like I remember when Green Bay and Elway went in the Super Bowl. It was Denver and Green Bay, and everybody really thought that Elway or Brett Favre, they were going to beat Denver. Like all the first week talk, but then I started hearing all the people go that second week, and everybody has switched all of a sudden to Denver, when no one gave Denver a chance of winning. with John Elway, because this was old John Elway. This wasn't a young John Elway. This was an old John Elway. And no one really gave them a chance until like the last few days. You started hearing more and more people saying, and so you saw the sentiment, and sure enough, they end up winning. When I think the Packers were favored. I think the Packers were favored to win. That run last week versus the Commanders was cold too. I mean, that first play of the game was like, get off. It was like, yeah, we're just running by them, and we never think that it's not, it's not fixed. We never think that just because it's my team. I don't never think that. Ooh, okay, a little better. I'm seeing I'm looking shining. I'm shining. My jaw's all shining and shit. It says Jets, Aaron Glenn tabs former defensive coordinator. Multiple report. Oh, I can let y'all see this too. I'm sorry. Steve Wilks. Steve Wilks, that used to coach the Cardinals, is going to be confirmed. The Jets are hiring former Arizona Cardinals head coach Steve Wilks to fill the defense coordinator role. Wilks would also hold play calling responsibilities. Yeah. So, and I thought against the Commanders, Aaron Glenn was out-coached, out-schemed. He was out-schemed. Now, again, it's fixed, but the way they have to do the fix, you still got to play, you still got to do tackles, you still got to cover. And the positions that Glenn was out of position the whole game. He didn't know what to do. He didn't know what defense to call. And he was just, it was like, whatever the script called for, he was out-scripted. He was definitely out-scripted. But he's already getting, and that's a good move, is to get these ex-head coaches and make them your coordinators. That's a good move, to make your ex-head coaches your coordinators. Oh, let me see if I'm gonna just show this right quick. I went to the outlet today, y'all, and where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Might take the picture away. Let's see if I can get this to come on. That wasn't what I wanted. That is not what I wanted. It had a picture of what I was looking for. Let's see if I can. Let's bring it back. Oh. Okay. Is this the right color? The previous picture was the color I needed. Previous picture was the color I needed. But they had I want to see what they were called. Let's see. Yeah, StockX isn't giving it to me. Cause they had Air Force full price. They had Air Jordan. Maybe this will show me the one I'm looking for. I don't see the one they had. It was a Jordan 3. But it was the this one. Yeah, this one right here. Now, this is grade school, but this one's still full price. And this shoe's 7-8 months old. This Jordan 3 Retro right here was at the outlet for $200 still. Still now I know I'm showing the grade school, but they had all sizes. And that's, Nike has taken a big hit. They have really taken a big hit. But this was in the outlet right there. Now, let's see if I can bring that one back. Now, these shoes ain't really selling out. I could have bought these in the store today. These were at the Mall of America, and they only had 2 pair left. They had this pair. They had a 13, and they had they had a 13, and they had like a 11, I think. But these didn't really sell out for they've been out for about 3 weeks, and already, you can get these. These ain't that, they ain't selling out. And so I'm not, I don't like 3s. They're not very comfortable. I just never been a big 3-4. I never liked 3s or 4s. I like the 2s. I have a few 1s, but I just don't like these shoes. As a shoe, I don't know. I mean, the quality is good. If you collect 3s and 4s, this isn't a bad looking shoe on your foot. It's a very good looking shoe on your foot. Oh, let me see. Where's it at? Now today, let me see if I can turn a little bit. Okay, today I got to wear those LeBron James, and they look good on the foot. I must admit, they look good on the foot. Yeah, they look really good. I wore my Greek Freak. It's the Tech Greek Freaks Tech with the Tech reimagined with the pants with the hem in them. And man, because the shoestrings got the orange in them, and the Greek Freak, his Nike thing has Freak across the chest. So you know I'm looking good. Now I wore the Jason Taylors, and let me tell you, I'm confused by those shoes. I'm really confused. Um, they're nothing but the Ja Morants, Lucas. They're all the same shoe. Now his original shoe was the Jordan 38, I think. But his other shoes is really like it's hard to believe that he's wearing these. It's really hard to believe that these is what he's wearing. Tatum is wearing because he went from a super spongy shoe to these are pretty flat. Now, not flat like Air Force Ones. The material's great. And they'll go with a lot. You know, you like green and black, but I don't know. I don't know. Benji, what's happening? I have some Wolf Gray 3s that are starting to crumble. I might do a soul swap. Man, Benji, thank you for joining if I didn't say it already.
You can't get too close to my boy, it's a foul.
Well, yeah, if you don't wear your shoes, they will start to crumble. And then again, how long you had them, you know. And it's funny, my friend, and I know he's in pretty bad straits, but I still remember I moved to Michigan, back to Michigan from A&T, from North Carolina, from Greensboro in 85. And that was when the Air Force Ones, and my friend came over, because we used to go over to his house to shoot craps and stuff. We'd shoot craps one-on-one sometime, or we get some people in there just shooting craps. I always love to shoot craps. And, you know, we stick them to each other. You know, if you know what that means I shake them and I throw them into your hand, and you can't do nothing but catch them and throw them. You know, that's what sticking them is I'm throwing it into your hands, not just rolling you the dice and then you pick them up and got to throw them. Not that. So, but anyway, he had a pair of the first release, and he was so proud. And I'm looking at like them flat ass shoes. You can't hoop in them. Tatum wanted that Kobe technology with the Jordan imprint. You know, I don't know, because Kobe's is a pretty basic shoe if you break it down. It has air. It has air in the forefoot, and this one does too. This one back here has air in the forefoot and air in the rear, but no max, no max bubble. And they had, it's just these aren't as comfortable as the Jordan 38s or 37s. I forget. Maybe the Jordan 37s that he came. Almost all the shoes he had really a lot of sponge back here. And maybe, some guys don't like the buildup because they say they can't feel the court as much, but it's not near comfortable as this. And they cost the same. This shoe started off as $200. I got this shoe for $125. And that's the same. My wife bought these for me. That's what she paid. She paid $125. Yeah, you can't have your sneakers and getting wet and dry all the time. Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I've been wearing mostly my boots. When it's wet outside, I wear a pair of my boots. I got the winterized, I think it's, winterized 6 rings. I wear those. Or I wear the tens, the winterized tens. I wear those. Instead, when it gets wet, I don't wear my sneakers. Like even basketball, you see like my brother-in-law, my wife and all them, they got all their sneakers on. I don't wear them like that. Not in the wintertime. Oh, but let me tell you the deal I got today. Man, I wasn't even looking to buy shoes because I still got like 3 pair of shoes I ain't even wore. So this makes number 4. But this was such a good deal, and is that an excuse to buy shit? Because so this makes, god damn, how many have I bought? This is the 5th pair already in 2000. I think this is like my 5th pair of shoes already. Well, let's see. I bought 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe my 4th pair? Or this be? Yeah, maybe this is my 4th pair. But I still got 4 pair of shoes I ain't wore yet. So, but I bought these because they were so cheap. But these are the Air Boost 2s. See, Air Boost 2s Miamis. And the price was 60% off $64. And these are super comfortable. They're the Miami Hurricane colors, but super comfortable. I mean, this now what I like is they gave you the foam right here, but they don't give you any under here. And like my New Balance, you can already tell with the foam being kind of exposed that the foam starts to wear. Like Hoka's is the same way. My wife has a pair of Hoka's, and you can already see where the foam is exposed. It really starts to wear. So, but these are super comfortable. I got these for 28 bucks. And I don't know. I mean, super light. And I got a lot of Adidas outfits, so I can start wearing some of my Adidas shit. I ain't got a lot of green and orange shit, but I'll match it, especially with black. But these are gonna be a good walking shoe too. A really good walking shoe when I hit the trails. When I go around the mall, wear these at the mall, they'll be really comfortable. So super, super comfortable. 28 bucks though. 60% off. And you know, it's open box. I got the broken box, but I don't care. So that's why I really just went out to the mall to walk. Oh, but I got an announcement for y'all. I played pickleball on Monday and I played for an hour and a half. And I'm a little sore under here from hitting, but I really, I played with some older people too. I wasn't the oldest in there. It was a dude about a year older than me, but everybody in there was in their 50s at least. And there was like maybe there wasn't many. I mean, it was only like it was 2 courts. So 8, 9, 10, 11. It was about 12 people. So you had to like you had to sit out almost like the way they do it, it wasn't if you kept winning, you keep playing. The way they did it is once the game was over, the next 4 can go play. So one game, so you would sit out like maybe 10 minutes and then the next game would end the way the games were ending. It was like both of them wasn't stopping and starting at the same time. So there was still so I got an hour and a half of pickleball in. Now I made some good shots. One thing that like not playing, you tend to leave your paddle down. Like you always have to have your paddle up because the game is just so quick. And so I got caught one time, and then one time I got caught where I knew I brought my paddle up too slow, but I timed it just right, and so I was able to return it. But we played. Let me say this: we played on I was trying to explain to my wife what a tile floor is. Now you should be familiar with elementary school tile floors. I mean, it's one of the oldest ways that they've had it. The bad thing about it is they can be really slippery. So I end up wearing my Jordan 39s, I think, or 38s. What were we, 39 now? So I think the Jordan 38s that I got married in. So I wore them, and they did good on that tile. I wore them most of the night, probably an hour, and then I switched. I took 2 other pairs. I took the one LeBron amped. They didn't do very well on the tile, and they were really flat on the tile. And so I end up my LeBron 21s, right? We're in 23s or 22s. I think those are LeBron 22. So maybe LeBron 21s. I end up playing with those. They seem to do a little better on that tile. And what's funny is like when they would lob the ball over my head or over me and my partner's head, back when I was playing good, I could anticipate that and I would go back there and get it. The other day, I didn't have any wind to go do that. And so as I mentioned before, I went out and walked around the outlet. I forced myself to do a couple laps at the outlet. And then I went to the Mall of America and I walked because like if you go to the first floor and you walk from Macy's all the way around back to Macy's, that's a mile. So if you did all 4 rows, I don't know, like except the 4th floor. The 4th floor is cut off, so you can't really go around the whole 4th floor because it's only the Comedy Club and Hooters. That's all that's up on the 4th floor. But on the 2nd floor, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st floor, they're all a mile. If you walk around a full thing, it's a mile. So I got 4.5 miles in today, like 10,000 steps, something like that. So just trying to, the days I don't play pickleball, because right now I'm only signed up for once a week. So you see Terrell Owens play pickleball? No, I didn't catch that. Yeah, they're super light. Yeah. Sneakers have to be in a moderate dry setting. Yeah, they do. They do. And I put mine in totes. I got mine like they're filled because that's why I didn't put them in the garage. Like my shoes in the garage is ones I don't wear, but the ones that have value, you know, I have them. I have 2 totes in my daughter's room. I have 3 totes here, and I keep them in boxes too. And I have like 4 or 5 pair in my bedroom, and then you know I've got and like these boots I ain't even wore because there ain't been no snow. You know, there's been no snow to wear my Red Wings, so no, it ain't. You know, we've had 19 inches of snow this year. Now 2 years ago, maybe going on 3, we had maybe 2 years because my nephew graduated in what we had 25. So in 23, 22, 23, that winter we had a blizzard. We had something like 90 inches of snow. Yeah, you don't put them in the garage because the change of climate is too dry, you know. Because it's like my garage when it's like minus outside, my garage is freezing. Like like my wife did before we got this warm front. It's been cool. So like what was it? Monday, she had to get like they had a big her company had a nationwide meeting, and so they had to pick up some stuff for the company, and she kept it out in the car because it was like 30 and under. So you know this stuff will freeze outside, so it'll stay fresh. You know, you gotta you don't have to take it in the fridge because it's cold enough outside. Because my fridge, I think right now we have our fridge at 37. I think that's what my fridge is set up, not my freezer, but my fridge I think is set up at 37. But today was beautiful. Today, I wonder if it set a record because it was 47 or 50 today, and the day before was the same way. Monday was really windy. Monday was super windy, but yesterday tied a record for warmth for this time of year, and let's see, today is supposed to set another record. Show you 47 degrees. We don't see 47 degrees in January, even though it's the end of January. But now look at this, 38, 35. We might get snow on Saturday. It's been jumping around. But it's going to be light snow. And if it snows, it ain't going to last. Then we get 41 on Monday, and then or Sunday, 41. But look at Monday, freezing. Look at this, freezing. And then little bitty warmth. So next week, the first full week of November or February, excuse me, it's going to be cold. So put the boots back on because it's going to be chilly. So going to put the boots back on. Oh, maybe I get to wear my fur coat again. I've only worn it like 3 times, so don't get to wear it that often. But yeah, it's funny. Like right now, let me see if I can get Nike stock to come up because it was 71. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, Nike is at 76.58. Again, you know, when Bitcoin fell down to 6,000, if you'd have bought in and got you just one coin, your one coin would have been worth 104,000. And we know, like I caught during COVID, I caught that dude, Kramer. I caught that dude Kramer he admitted that he's like, the way the stock market look, he's like, the way this forecast is, you have to think that it's manipulated. That's what he said. He says, Kramer, he's the booyah dude. He says, the way this looks, you can't have any other conclusion than it's manipulated. And so when we look at Bitcoin, we know that they manipulated it to this. This is a manipulated number, but again, it's there, and it's a Ponzi scheme. There's no doubt that Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme. They need people constantly buying into it to keep it going. But Nike has gained, but Nike's at 76. And I think it was, let me see, what's their forecast? Let's see what their high was. But see, there's no highs. Look at this. We starting from October, 70, 70, 70, 70, 70, 70, 70. And these are major releases. Used to be what you would see. What you used to see is when they would have big releases, you would see this stock really jump. But right now, it's not really a good bet. not really a good bet. Now Tesla again, 389. You know what is the drop here? $8. It gained the past 3 months. He gained 131, but the report is that they're sitting. Those Tesla cars are sitting. The trucks and cars are sitting. That's what the word is from the dealerships and stuff. And I'm gonna give you one thing, and I said this the other day, but I'm gonna say this again for stock tips. And I don't know if you got to go with the companies, but you know, I do a lot of shopping. And so comparisons and stuff, and I see what goes on sale. And there's one thing that never goes on sale, and that's cologne, perfume. It never goes on sale. Now, every now and then you'll get a small, maybe 10% off. Or if you got if you go to Macy's, sometimes you get money off and you can get a deal like that. But I think well, my wife got me Sauvage Forte. I think that was damn near $190 for that. And I mean, it's a pretty big bottle, but that stuff never goes on sale. Now, I've said before, I got a Macy's up the street from me that's closing, and they selling everything, the shelves and everything. That perfume ain't going on sale, and it's a sign that says the perfume is not part of the store-wide sale. So, and then it ain't really a sale. Like the Christmas sales was greater than this shit. This store supposed to be closing, and most of it is like 25%. And you look at the sign says up to 50%. So they be on some bullshit. The stuff is not cheap because they're going out of business. They're gaslighting people, really. Let me see. I didn't see gold or silver. And I must say, you know, I bought into Ford. I bought into Ford during the riots. And I must say, my brother was like, man, we need to get into Ford. Ford's probably going to go up. Yeah, the highest my Ford money has went up is $15. That's the highest. And you see it's back at 10. So they don't really give a forecast here. But so let me see. Yeah, you see, they look at this. If you, yeah. See, that's what I was saying. I was up to $15. So a year ago, my shit was near 15, and look at this. In a year, I've lost only $13. So I can't really complain. That's not terrible, but it really, since my $5 initial investment, hasn't really paid off. But what has paid off, as I say every time, gold. Gold is going to hit $3,000 an ounce. And let me see, do they have the return? Trying to see what 6% return. 1 month you get 6%. So, and it's up 11% in the market since the market's going to close tomorrow or Friday, excuse me. So, and you remember GameStop had jumped up. What was it called? Robinhood. It had jumped up. Now it's back low. But again, gold, and there's silver on here. Yeah, silver. And look at this platinum. See? And remember when they fooled everybody and had everybody buying platinum? Man, let me catch this. Where'd it go? I want to catch that. Says ex-Senator Mendez gets 11 years for gold bar bribe. Bob Menendez was sentenced to 11 years in prison for acting as a foreign agent of Egypt and accepting gold bars and other bribes in what prosecutors said were perhaps the worst corruption case ever involving a U.S. senator. Yeah, this dude, they just went after him. They're all corrupt. Was motivated by greed and hubris after half century's elected official. He was convicted after a 9-week trial where prosecutors said he sold his influence to 2 corrupt businessmen who received prison terms of 7 to 8 years Wednesday. The sentence completed the downfall of a gifted politician who rose from a family of Cuban migrants and became most powerful Hispanic lawmaker in Congress. Menendez, who overcame previous corruption charges when a case ended in a mistrial, was forced to resign after New York jurors convicted him in July. He was the first lawmaker ever convicted of acting as a foreign agent. So, not surprised. I think if Brother Nick's still listening, he can probably give you a little more, or he can give you and tell you about the corruption that Biden and why he pardoned his whole family, because a lot of that stuff was in his family's name, and so Biden was full of corruption, full of it. So they pick and choose who they want to get. They pick and choose. So it's not always consistent the way they go after people. Let's see. Sorry, y'all. I'm just fucking around. Tell you, I like the toe on these LeBrons. The toes are sweet. I mean, the way they cut off your sweats or your jeans, that toe is nice. That is a nice, steady toe. So, let's see. What would it cost me? Nope. Oh. Whoops. Oh, here we go. Size 14. Still cost me $200. That's what I don't like about StockX. You got to pay them $14-15 to ship them. So it ain't like the price. So like right now, the Monopolies is $169. When you add $14 to it, you know, you ain't really getting nothing off. So that's why I like eBay a little better, or not eBay, but just go to the app, you know, the Nike app. Nike app is cheaper. Or I think JB Sports, I got them. The ones I got that's behind me, I think I got them for $125 off JB Sports. JD, excuse me, which owns Finish Line. So, what are these? 14s, $174. See, you got bigger sizes, they still give it to you. The 14s, these are $174. So, you know, they ain't really off none. These $200 shoes that stay $200. And this is my favorite colorway here. But it's $218, so almost $250 to get these, you know. And you know, that toe is motherfucker. I'm telling you, the way this toe looks, and this is more mesh. It's not leather. That's what I like about my shoe. My shoe is more leather. That toe is more leather. That blue one appears to be more mesh than just blue leather. So, but yeah, I was excited to play pickleball, y'all. That felt good. Felt good to be, you know, everything I've went through these past, well, since April. You know, I'm only still I'm still like 4 weeks from surgery. So heart surgery at that. But I feel better. You know, my heart has not went into AFib any, so since the surgery. So I'm still feeling pretty good. And so I think I'm gonna play a lot more pickleball. And you know, be active again. You know, it's funny, like I got away from eating fries so much. When I eat them, I can just feel all that grease in my stomach. That's the first thing my stomach feels, is all that grease. It's like, man. Yeah, it's like all that grease in my stomach. So I don't know. That's why I don't eat too much of that shit. I lost purpose. Okay. And, you know, like people, like we have family friends that are shook up. You know, we have one friend that's from Venezuela. Her mother's in her 90s. And I think I told this story the other day. And I think she was born here. And, you know, we got two sets of friends, but both of their parents were here illegally. Or, you know, came here on a visa and just stayed. You know, you can just stay. A lot of times you get a visa, you can stay. And one of the parents, they was here about 70 years. Now they're all really older people. And so it's not just criminals that they appear to be going after. They appear to be going after randomly. You know, they got people on list and they're randomly going over the list. And, you know, like if you compare this to other times, especially the Germany times, it was like there was a not caring long as it was just them peoples. Long as they was going after just them peoples, people didn't care. But then when they started going after the others, it's like, wait a minute. And then to see all the ICE people, and see them in the black, you gotta look at the memories of stormtroopers. I mean, how can you not? They come in all black, which is very stormtrooper-like. Now, again, I voted for Trump. You know, all my friends knows that I supported Trump. As I started saying, I mean, he screwed a lot of white women. I'm telling you, he a lot of these European women, you know, with the DEI and the affirmative action, a lot of them is going to be affected, and I don't know if they understand how affected that they're going to be. So, but I will say this. You know, my wife and I had conversations since before the election, and the feeling, like if you get the feeling of the way things are, like COVID, I could feel something was changing. Like I just remember picking up my daughter and was like, wow, I wonder how long I'm gonna be able to do this. There's something that's gonna make this go away. You know, there's something that's going to make this go away. And I just kept getting that feeling, and boom, the COVID hit. But, you know, as analyzing, it's like no matter who won the presidency, times were going to change. It was going to be a type of reset, no matter who won. A lot of, like, my wife was like saying, well, if Harris won, you know, a lot of this civil rights stuff wasn't going to be affected. You can't say, because one thing that you got to know about politicians is all of them want what's going on. They may plead about it and say it's wrong, but in reality, this is what all of them wanted. And they let Trump play the role of putting this together. Now, I found a video and I couldn't find it back again, but no, because this was on the news. Excuse me. This was on the news. So on the news, what they showed is they showed a guy was saying like they're only getting 25% in the fields. And they're saying who are going to do this produce job. And this is what he said. He said they make between $18 and $22 an hour, but we give them housing. Now, maybe he said free housing, and he said free housing, but come on. Housing ain't free. Now, I told the story in the 70s. In the 70s, when my father coached high school football, some days he had to go get the players in the mornings. And I remember we walked into one of them migrant shacks, and it was literally just a room smaller than this room, smaller than my office. It was a small room with a dirt floor. And the family was all laying on the floor. They didn't even have mattresses on the floor. They was all laying on like pallets on the floor. Because they opened the door and me and my dad both walked in, and I was like, damn, the nigga that we was picked up was going with us. He got off the floor. And I never forgot that. I was like, wow, they had outhouses and stuff. So and I bring that up because for the guy to say they're making between 18 and 22, we know they're paying those people less. That's why they wanted so many. So that's a part of the market that has to be considered is produce, these supermarkets, but produce people. You know, right now we're in prime picking season for some parts of the country. And they're saying that, you know, up to 75% of people ain't going. And like these handy people that the trucks go that are at the warehouse, what's it called? Lowe's and place like that. They're saying people ain't there out there. These handy workers that ain't out there. So there's a fear, you know. There's a fear. And then there's like pushback. Now, how I feel about the FBA, I just say Tariq. That's all I'll say. You take your own opinion, but if you study Tariq, I don't know if you'd be interested in the program. I found out there is one office here. I just found that out. But all I'm saying is run by Tariq. He's the one that put that together. So, and I found him to be, he's a pimp that never put a woman on the street. He was just an actor in the movie. Then he wanted to be a rapper, and now he's doing this. He built a museum, which kudos to him to building, you know, a museum about melanated folks. But I don't know. He comes off kind of fake. So, but you know, it's like a lot of they're saying a lot of people from South America, Mexico. It's like, why aren't the black people aligning with us? But it's like. And I know people that, you know, you live in spots where it's a hell of a lot of Mexicans and South Americans and whatever you want to call them. I know that, you know, those people can be some nasty. They're very cliquish too, you know. They're very cliquish. So it's not like, you know, they were hanging with brothers because they never did that. And now, you know, you see in videos, we need to align and where are you guys at? But it's like, there's really no relationship. So you can't really fake something that was really never there. And you can't say, well, can you help me? Because when you didn't care before, but now you care. So I don't know. Where does it say? Mike McCarthy is. Oh, it says Mike McCarthy is not going to coach next year. Focus on hiring cycle and would not coach in the NFC. Oh, so he's not going to coach this next year coming up. Okay. Okay, Mike McCarthy said he's not going to coach. You sucked anyway, so I can see why you don't want to coach because you sucked anyway. Oh, okay. I didn't get her. When did she pass? When? What's the date? Nope, she doesn't count. She does not count. But it's funny they bring her up now, but she doesn't count. She died the 16th. And what we're looking at is people that passed from this past Monday. This past Monday. That's what we look at. People die from Monday until the Super Bowl. And then it's, as I mentioned before, some years it is the Super Bowl night too that we count. So, but yeah, that's all the passings it looks like. So, yeah. I don't know. What do they say? Bill Belichick makes first major move. Let's check this story out. What is your major move, Belichick? How are you sitting and relating to these people? Made his first major change as head coach. Coach reportedly has a lot to do with the decision on the field to return to natural grass. 12 weeks. Wow. Okay, he wants natural grass. Well, it's proven that the players stay healthier on natural grass, but I wonder how much that costs to switch. Turf is cheaper. That's why they moved to turf. It's cheaper to maintain. And like you have fields like I think the Arizona Cardinals where they have that field they can pick it up and move it, back outdoors. So they take care of it outdoors. Oh, did you guys hear about this? American Airlines collides with a helicopter. Did y'all hear about that? American Airlines Flight 53 collides midair with a Sikorsky H-60 helicopter. Not giving us much more about it. So, and it doesn't look like it's going to be. Let's see where am I at.
Place over the Potomac. We go back to our own Chad Pergram is on the phone. He's on the scene. Chad, what do you have?
Yeah, we've been told that all of the all the water rescue boats from anywhere in the area have been dispatched to this area, and they're trying to figure out a potential casualty point at this stage. Where to collect. God forbid if there are in fact bodies in the water and things like that. But that's been the number one key here. Again, it's amazing where I'm standing because we're not that far from the airport, and when you would fly in, you would go right past this point. This is south of the airport. South of the runway, it seems like everything is a little bit more on the other side of the river, on the Maryland side of the river or the D.C. side of the river here. I'm on the Virginia side right now, but they've also gotten as many helicopter rescue helicopters from local police departments and rescue units from the entire region into the air as possible. But they're really still trying to piece this together. And the fact that this is at night it doesn't make it any easier, and that's where Mark Meredith was talking about. We see these helicopters going overhead with these big searchlights, scanning over and over again. They've come over us 2 or 3 times in the short period of time I've been here, Sean.
Yeah, it really is unbelievable. But, the fact that if we're talking about a regional jet, that usually means a smaller.
Oh, get out of here, commercial. Oops. Get out of here, commercial. All right. Here we go. I don't want to hear the commercial. That's a major mistake. A small commercial. Well, American Airlines flight. So it's probably a 200-seat plane. And you're hitting a military helicopter? How?
On that
How's
plane
that possible?
would be better rather than a big jumbo jet. And but we are, the confirmation is what the confirmation is. I'm sure you have seen what I have seen. These videos are all over, and we have to confirm it here at the Fox News channel before we before we show it. Preliminary reports also indicate that it might have been out of Wichita, Kansas, and a military helicopter and a collision over the Potomac. Do you see any other action specifically in the water? You mentioned earlier that, I mean, we can see all the emergency vehicles on the street side, but we also see all of these emergency vehicles in the water.
Yeah, that's the thing I've been looking for here so far, and we really haven't seen that. Everybody's either on the edge of the runway, either over on the D.C. side of the river. They're on terra firma. And in just the past couple of minutes since I've been on the air here, we have a statement from Don Beyer. He is the Democratic representative from Northern Virginia. He represents this area of Arlington and Alexandria just across from Washington, D.C. Beyer says, I am following the response to a reported aviation incident at DCA, that's the code for Reagan National Airport, and am in touch with airport officials as we try to learn what happened and why. This is obviously very worrying, but I urge the community to please let the first responders do their jobs and save lives. That is the...
All right. I mean, that's crazy. That is crazy because you got to get okay to fly. Mr. Mr. Lamborghini Leglot, thank you for joining.
You can't get too close to my voice of fire.
Chris Matthews, thank you for joining.
You can't get too close to my voice of fire.
Is it true this Earth's vibration frequency has rose rapidly in the last few days? Well, right now we're into the alignment of the planets. And yeah, we're in the alignment of all the planets. And so where the planets are going from west, the planets are setting up, because I think it's Jupiter setting up in the west, and then the all planet goes from west to east. And so something that rare occurrence would raise the vibration. The other thing is, you know, the Earth, the North Pole has switched. I think it's the most massively it's ever switched, because again, the North Pole was always like, if you look at where Matthew Henson and Colonel Perry, whatever his name was, where they went compared to now where they say the North Pole is, it's not in the same spot. And you know, they've shown in the past where even the axis has turned, where the Earth flip flops. So, and I don't know, you know, how much we would get that, but that's where, to me, some of the that's where the vibration. I mean, my meditations have really been super good. I mean, a lot of the ancestors have been coming in and stuff, and when I'm giving my thanks, they usually come in and, you know, recognize that I'm giving thanks and stuff. So yeah, I can see that over the Potomac. Yeah. Oh, so it's 60 people plane. Okay, so it was very small plane. Still though, a helicopter should not hit a plane. How not? Like, one of them had to get okay to fly in that area. That's the way it works. You know, your radar, you've got your radar, and the plane can damn near, you know, fly by itself. So I don't know how something like that could happen, how the planes can run into each other. So we'll probably know a little more tomorrow. So not really sure. Not really sure. Oh, Grammy Awards to feature Quincy Bend Me Over Jones. And the White House still has paused federal grants and loans. Oh, it says Elon Musk is nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. Wow. Why? What did he do this year that helped with peace? And it was interesting, like normally when there's when the president has his inauguration, normally they have their cabinet featured. No, he had the oligarchs, all the oligarchs front and center. All of them was front and center. So where's the company? Where's the country turning to? Let's see what this says about Mr. Musk. American billionaire has nominated for Nobel. He's recognized for his contributions to the defense of free speech and human rights. Wow. Fundamental human rights, freedom of expression, thus peace also. But he's been censoring people. He's been censoring people that was talking shit about him being on doing his Roman Nazi salute. So, but you see, and this is just this isn't a real person. And I mean everything about him is fake. He didn't invent anything. He didn't invent anything. He's not an expert on anything. And that's what they do. It's like even looking at Howard Hughes. Howard Hughes was expert in aviation. This man ain't an expert in the things that he's tied to. He ain't invented nothing. Now they say that he might buy TikTok. And right now, TikTok is on Meta servers. It is on Meta servers. So I don't know why he would get that. And I'm not, pro, con. I'm not either way about that shit with him. I wouldn't buy a Tesla car. I'll say that. I wouldn't buy one. Those trucks is ugly as fuck. I mean, like the trucks have become more a status symbol. There's no way you could look at that vehicle and say, this is great. It's just like what they do is they get rich to start pushing something to make it seem like, this is the thing to buy. Like them stupid red boots. Who was wearing them first? Those stupid red boots that nobody even cares about anymore. But who was wearing them first? They want the celebrities to wear it, and then they want you to be suckers, and you get that shit. That truck is the most aesthetic wise, it is ugly as fuck aesthetic wise. Nothing beautiful about that vehicle. I mean, if you look at the 50s, especially the 50s, where every year there was art put on the car. Cars used to be full of art. Look at this shit now. There's and just even new cars, artistically, they're not beautiful anymore. They don't try to, let me say this though. The one part that is artistically pleasing on a car now is taillights. That's the one part where you still see the art of the car and you see them in taillights. Like Hyundai has one car that their taillights looks like Arabic letters. And like even before my son crashed the Taurus had like squares. It had squares in the back. Really, really very cool because it kind of looked like panther eyes if you see a Taurus from the back. But there's nothing really, most cars, they don't care about that anymore. Oh, they just don't care about it. Yeah, it's a bummer. No movies. I ain't been to the movies. It ain't like us. But we ain't been to the movies in a minute. We watched Gladiator again tonight. The first scene of Gladiators is one of the best scenes of the movie. When they storm that place and capture all them slaves. That's to put that shows you how the old naval battles when they would siege, from sea. That just shows you have enough boats to attack. That's how they was able to capture all this land. But Denzel is like almost plays the same character every movie, except since Malcolm X, he's been the same dude almost every movie. Even when he's the Equalizer, he's the same dude. It's not, I don't know. It's like he's not really a diverse guy anymore. He gives you the same kind of no matter what character he gives you, it's the same kind of dude. So yeah, nothing really exciting, guys. Nothing really exciting. But I say again, we're gonna see how the Kansas City Chiefs fatigue. We're gonna see how that goes. We're going to see how the Patrick Mahomes fatigue goes. A lot of these, is going to tell the temperature of the game and how we're going to figure the game out. Like someone mentioned earlier about, are they going to let the ego beat the chief? Very well, could be. We'll see. Some brother, I thought this was the brother was giving overtimes to the chicks. This is the brother who's giving overtimes to the chicks so he could bang them. He gets to bang them. Let's see if this is him. Doesn't look like it. I don't know where that police chief was, where he had a thing where he could have sex with the other officers and give them big overtime. Like, hey, come on over and I'll give you a bunch of overtime. That's tricking. That's tricking like a mug. Oh, I got the trash bag right here. Use that one right there. Oh, you're ago. Ben Wallace guards Shaq for the first time. Shit. Now, there was some shit fixed when the Pistons won that championship. See, the Pistons won their championship with Rip Hamilton and them. They won that championship because they didn't draft Melo. That was their gift for not drafting Melo and pushing that foreigner. And then, you telling me you got one of the top players coming out of college and you're going to draft an unproven foreigner that's young, and all you can say is he's 7 foot and never became anything. Always was just an average, not even an average player. He's a bench warmer. They used to call it whatever his name was, time, because that meant the end of the game, or they blowing the team out. That's what it ended up meaning. Let's see. Where did I end off at? I didn't look at some of this shit. Oh, I think this is worth listening to, and I'm not going to play it all. I'm going to play some of it. But I think I'm going to let you play a little bit. And this is kind of on point. This is Brother Sadid, I think is his name. But I'm going to give you a little bit of his stuff. It's on, as you see here, it's on Trump, Middle Nation. So if you want to catch it, but I'm going to let him chop for a little minute. This is some good stuff.
Trump is that he can package the dismantling of American empire as the building of American empire. That's what he's doing. Because you have to sell to your demographic. And Americans are not the most mature, the most realistic, the most responsible people in the world, the most well-acquainted with history and so forth. So you cannot possibly sell America's necessary downsizing and the managed erosion of America and the hollowing out of America as, we've made a lot of bad choices for a very long time. And
let me cut in, because I be hitting him up like, why does he only wear black and white suits? Is this dude like, what was his name, Einstein? Only had black and white suits. Every time he talks, he's got the same black and white suit. Now, one time I cracked, it's like, why are you wearing black and white suits only? And they was like, what does it matter? So he didn't wear the coat. He had the black tie on and the white shirt, but he didn't wear the coat. But it's like, why, dude? Have some flavor. Have some flavor. We like your points, but damn, we got to like everything about you. But okay. Maybe I'm being petty, but I'm fly. All right, let's go.
We've only ever really made short-term plans for the future. So it turns out that there's a lot of unavoidable, necessary changes that have to be made at your expense. You can't really sell that to the American public. You can't tell the American public that consequences are a thing. That demographic of political consumers simply cannot compute a message like that. Because look, what Trump is going to do, what he is doing, and what he will do, these are all things that were going to happen anyway, with or without him.
Damn, Wolfman. I guess he don't know that you should shave your hands. You can shave all that off. That is kind of nasty. Like you don't look at your hand and say, well, damn, I need to shave my hand. And it's bumpy, so it looks like he has shaved it, but maybe that's why he quit shaving, because his hand looks bumpy. But god damn, bruh, shave your damn hand. Actually, a military, I doubt it was actually a military helicopter. Plus, with all this drone activity, we are supposed to believe that this radar wasn't exactly. Yeah, he only has one suit. That's what it looks like. Unc, he's down with the shit. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. But I don't know. He's got some thought-provoking stuff. Okay, I'm quit fucking with him. But damn, shave your hand, man.
He's just the one who's selling it to you as a good thing. That's his job. He's like the guy at a company who's designated as the one to deliver the bad news to you that you're going to be let go. And you designate him for that job because he has a way of presenting it to you. He has a way of presenting to you being fired as the greatest opportunity of your life, all the new horizons that you're going to be able to pursue and so on. That's Trump. That's Trump's job. America has been stuffing balloons up their sleeves for a very long time and telling everyone that they're muscles. But now even the balloons are deflating. The great American hoax is over. And Trump is there to oversee the dismembering of American empire. The U.S. is going to be isolated, it's going to withdraw, and it's going to be non-competitive globally. And like I said, this is all unavoidable. This would have happened with or without Trump. You've simply come to the end of your life cycle as a hegemonic superpower. And the decay and the decomposition that will follow is just part of the natural process. Trump can't be blamed for that, and he can't be given credit for any of this. But his job is to make you think that none of it's happening, even while it's happening right in front of your face. This is what Trump's main job is. Because look, for example, drill, baby, drill, right? Make America energy self-sufficient, et cetera, et cetera. Fire up all of the dormant oil wells and so forth in West Texas and so on, while simultaneously asking OPEC to lower oil prices, which of course means asking OPEC to increase production. Okay. The way that goes is increase production by OPEC, and if they do it, by the US as well, okay, then the oil price drops, and cheap oil floods the market, out of sync with demand.
Okay. At the day he made this, oil is at $73 a barrel. All right. So he quotes some numbers that ain't going that, and this is what, see, I don't even know why American gets oil from anybody. We got mountains full of oil. Like if you hear them talking about the oil reserves, they start going in that mountain. But they got plenty of oil everywhere. Everywhere. They got more than enough, and it would never run out. So the OPEC thing is something that America created. America went there. America taught all these other countries how to refine oil because it was invented in America. So read the book, Economic Confessions of Economic Hitman. He tells how not only did they go to Saudi Arabia, when they taught Saudi Arabia and started building refineries and infrastructure, there was even some laundering money for prostitutes for some of them Saudis who's Muslims but like blondes. And he talks about how he kind of pimped some of them Saudis, pimped women from America, which again is human trafficking. But again, that's what kept the Saudis happy. So yeah, you read the Confessions of an Economic Hitman. It's a pretty decent book. So like that's why it was fake when when OPEC made a deal in 72 or 73, and they showed a fake oil crisis. This was fake. It doesn't matter what OPEC does. We don't need their gas. And we get, that was why they want to destabilize Venezuela, because that's a source that we get most of our gas from is Venezuela. So it's all a farce that OPEC has all this power. And we know if they really wanted to go in and take that shit, they could do it anytime. The Saudis when they get weapons, they buy American weapons. So you think, and in the past, yeah, they fought people that have weapons, but they ain't fighting them Saudis. And the Saudis ain't going to get out of hand because they look back at what was done to Iraq. And, we still got a big-ass base in Kuwait, so you think we ain't, OPEC, they ain't paying attention to OPEC like that. So, all right, here he goes.
Driving the price down even further. Now the price is too low for it to even be profitable for American producers to drill, to refine, or to extract. Do you understand? American oil producers need for oil to be at a minimum of $40 per barrel for it to even be worth it. For it to even be worth it to drill and extract and refine and so forth. Meanwhile, OPEC can still make a profit at just $10 a barrel. So you understand, America cannot play.
Again, these numbers are wrong because right now it's $73 for the world. It's traded at $73 for the world. So he's kind of wrong in that regard, but okay. Keep going, bro. Keep going.
Play the oil game with OPEC. OPEC has the capacity to ramp up oil production if they want to, anytime they want to. They can ramp up oil production. They can increase production to a level within just 90 days that America couldn't reach even in 5 years. In other words, OPEC can decimate the American oil and gas sector anytime.
I like you got the French cuffs. I don't know if y'all picked that up. You got the French cuffs, but this is false. I hate to say it, bro, but this is false. What you're saying is wrong. They can't hurt America with their oil. We would go in there and take their oil. So come on.
The only reason they don't do that is because they want to maintain price stability for their own benefit, for their own reasons. They would rather have oil at $70 a barrel or $100 a barrel rather than $10 a barrel. So they choose to allow America to stay in the game. And that's the only reason. But if you're going to ramp up oil production on your end, well, then you better hope that OPEC responds by cutting production on their end just to stabilize the price. Because if they don't, if they respond in kind and they do what you do, and they also ramp up oil production, and then they drive the price of oil down to their.
Okay, what did we see during COVID? There were some places gas was down to 25 cents. Barrels was trading at zero. You understand that? During COVID, barrels of oil were trading at zero. Do y'all remember that? During COVID, they were trying barrels of oil was so barrels of oil were like going $10 a barrel. It did happen because there was no demand for it. People stopped driving as much. So that's the other thing about America. We don't buy the shit that drives the price down. So again, you know, he's saying some good stuff, but some of the stuff can be disputed.
Minimum profit level. Well, that will nuke America's whole oil industry. Plants, drilling sites, refineries, all of that's going to shut down. Tens of thousands of jobs will just disappear overnight. And for every one job in the oil and gas sector, there's at least 2 or 3 jobs that are indirectly related to that. So you were looking at potentially hundreds of thousands of jobs lost by drill, baby, drill. Not to mention, when that happens, no one in the private sector is going to invest in the oil sector anymore. So you see, no more exports to Europe, no more exports anywhere, no more oil exports, energy exports. Meanwhile, you're going to abandon renewable energy, clean energy, and so on. The Green New Scam, as Trump says, he's very much against that. And at the same time, you have the UAE and you have Saudi Arabia investing hundreds of billions of dollars in the U.S. In energy-intensive businesses in the United States. I mean, Trump said it himself. If oil companies drill themselves out of business, I don't give a damn. That's what he said. So you see how the rhetoric, how the marketing actually sells the opposite of what the policy outcome is actually going to be. I don't think for a second that Trump doesn't know that. I think he knows that. No one who's putting these policies in place doesn't know what the outcomes will be. And that's why the policies are being pursued, because they want to achieve those outcomes, those very outcomes. But you can't sell that to the electorate. You can't tell the American people, you know, we, your private sector overlords, are no longer tied to the success or the prosperity or the stability of the American economy. We have global interests, not national interests. And so we've decided to drive the U.S. into energy bankruptcy as quickly as possible. And maybe then we can sell all of America's oil and gas assets to.
If it didn't happen during COVID, you know, that again, demand. How many cities have trains, buses, where if motherfuckers say, okay, you know, we won't drive. That's what happened during COVID. That's a prime example that disputes what he's saying. But let's go.
Saudi Arabia or to China or what have you, for pennies. You can't tell the American people that. So instead, you say, Trump says, we're going to drill, baby, drill. We're going to drill, you know, better, stronger, faster than anyone. We're going to produce more oil than anyone else in the world, and so on and so on and so on. We're number one, you know, and everyone cheers. Everyone applauds while the oxygen is being drained from the room. And let me tell you, that's exactly what's going on. The last time Trump was in office, Saudi Arabia and Russia collaborated to flood the global oil market during COVID-19, no less. And the U.S., under Trump, the U.S., the media, portrayed this as a price war between Saudi Arabia and Russia. But it was transparently done. It was transparently undertaken by Russia and Saudi Arabia, specifically to undermine the American oil sector, the American oil industry. It completely crashed the oil price.
No, it crashed the world oil price when it was trading at $0 a barrel. So you think that's what they really wanted? It had nothing to do with them colluding. It had Americans wasn't driving. That's what drove down the oil price, is that the Americans weren't driving because of COVID. So this argument is kind of whack.
Making oil production completely unviable for the U.S., for U.S. producers, okay? Trump had good relations with Russia. He had good relations with Saudi Arabia, still does. And I think it's fair to say that this was a three-way collaboration, not just between Russia and Saudi Arabia. Trump was involved. And now Trump already wants to do it again within his first week in office. I don't think OPEC is going to go along with it. to be honest. Not right now. Why should they? You said drill, baby, drill, so you go ahead and do that. You go ahead. You drill. But we are not going to initiate a crash in the oil price. We need the money right now. We have projects. So you have to take Trump seriously, but never at his word. Never take him literally. But do take him seriously. Because he's a mascot for a faction of power that needs to be taken very seriously. The A National OCGFC, owners and controllers of global financialized capital. They're essentially the real unipolar superpower of the world. And Trump is their hatchet man in America. Now, generally speaking, this is going to be very good for the Muslim world. Generally speaking, it's going to be good for the Muslim world and the global South more broadly. Yes, it is. But I know that things are going to get very hard for you in the U.S. Things are going to get very hard for you in the West overall. Now, most people around the world in the global South, they'll react to that news the same way that someone would react to hearing about a serial killer getting shanked in prison. You know, he had it coming. That's how most people feel, to be honest. But I know that most people in the West already have it hard. I know that most people in the West are actually already suffering. And I know what it's like to live in America. It's not easy. And I know that just because the consequences that you may suffer may be the result of your own actions, that doesn't make the consequences any easier to endure. I know it's going to be hard, especially when you're suffering the consequences of actions that were taken by your elites, not necessarily the actions of the common people. So I know this is hard to take, and it's going to be hard to take. Now, again, let me reiterate, this is not about Trump. It's not about Trump. The isolation, the degradation of America was going to happen anyway. It had to happen. This is just the necessary course of the logic of Western predatory capitalism. Just like.
So if you want to hear more of that, you want to hear more, it is under Middle Nation. And you can, listen to his rap. Again, I agree with some and some I don't agree with. But one thing he said is, like, that I agree with, and he said this on another show, is like when they do something, it's almost like you do, and this is MJ Givens always said, you always got to look at what the opposite meaning is too. When they say things, what is the opposite meaning of what they're saying? Because that's a lot of times what you see is a government double talk. And they say one thing, but they mean another. And so we saw that before when Trump is in, and already we seeing kind of the same thing. It's like a lot of this freezing everything he wanted to do today. They're fighting it in court already. And like, who does it benefit? Like, what benefit does it do or give when they take away Head Starts? Children that sometimes they're still in America, children that's only going to get breakfast and lunch at school. They might get minimum to eat at night. And matter of fact, check this out. Some schools have after school programs where they eat dinner at the after school program. So you're going to really cripple Americans that really can't afford it? You're going to kill the legacy of the Black Panther and the free breakfast programs that the Black Panthers did on their own without any government funding? Just going to the local community and getting food from the local community? The same way they did healthcare. Black Panthers is the one, they also invented WIC. Did you know that? Black Panthers also invented WIC that the government later took over. And the government took over the breakfast programs. And it's funny, do y'all remember when Jesse Jackson tried to take credit for the breakfast program, called it Operation Breadbasket? And all he did is once the Panthers all got locked up or killed, he just took over their program. That's all he did. That's all Jesse Jackson did. Messy Jesse, run Jesse, run. Government agent since a young boy. So, I think that's all I had tonight, y'all. But like when I play Ancestral Production, I mean, listen to this again and take note of what he said.
Like I said, you go to the history of European civilizations. 250 years is how long they last before they implode because of their greed, because of their violence, because of an inability to let others be, including themselves. If they didn't have brown and black people to hate, they would hate themselves.
And you know, we look at how long America has been going, and as I was just saying before, it's like whoever, even if Carmela was there, a lot of these things were still, or Harris, were still going to be happening to America. A lot of these things, this change, this reset, and that's all it is they reset us during COVID, and they're trying to reset us again. And it's like Savan Bomber says that, you know, we can do a 2012 because 2012 was a reset that America did. America made them reset because they were scared. Their computers couldn't handle, when the changing of, but 2012, it was giving the computers some, they didn't know how to handle that either. And all that was the Mayan and the Omic resetting. So it was a number of years, and then it's a reset. So it's a natural reset that we can do. We can reset. We have the abilities and the powers to reset. Now, the other thing that scared the man was Floyd. You know, and I've talked about this plenty times. That scared them. Never has the youth went to the streets so violently and in such big numbers that it took them almost 2 weeks to get the National Guard to come in town. Almost 2 weeks. And you know, really like if you talk about full revolution, you know, everybody knows the National Guard people work around you. It's not hard to find out who they are. And this city, I mean, again, you can isolate the city. Detroit could have did it when Detroit had the riots. You can cut off ways for the people to get into the city. And it showed what happened in Atlanta. When Atlanta burned all them tires under that clover leaf, what happened? That clover leaf fell down. That concrete, too much heat to it to make it come down. So revolution, and that's the advantage that the people always have, is burning this shit down. They could never stop us. There's too many of us to stop. And if everybody hit the street and started burning their shit down, that's what they care about. They care, like remember, I've said this before. They had a neutron bomb that was meant to just kill biological things, but not blow the buildings up. Remember that song, ooh, doing the neutron dance? That's what the neutron bomb was supposed to be. It didn't blow the buildings up. It just killed the people, killed living life, but kept the structures. You know, that's what they say mud flood is. Is that what they try to say? You know, it's like a reset, but the building stayed in some instances. And that shit is extremely racist. Because it's trying to make ancient people that ain't ancient, you know? So, but yeah, the vibration is pretty high. I'll say that. As these planets come in line more and more, you know, the energy is really, this is what I've noticed. Despite what's happening, my vibration has remained high. And things are, you know, I control a lot of my own reality. And a lot of it is controlled by lack of fear. You know, I know like what my health is, and I'm not afraid to die. I mean, I feel sad because I do have a younger daughter, and I do feel sad sometimes about that. But overall, it's okay. That's part of life. So it's nothing to be scared about. It's nothing to say you're gonna cut me all up to save me. In some instances, that is what it takes. I talked to a friend today. He said his brother had a heart replacement and a kidney replacement. And he said the first set of kidneys didn't work, so he had to find somebody else to give him kidneys. So I don't know if I want to go through all that. And all that is done for not wanting to die. And dying is natural. You step on a bug, you know, there's another bug that's right there. And if you do what you're supposed to do in this world, you die with a free conscience. We all are going to make mistakes. But if you lived your life where you were a wicked person, and that's the difference. If you weren't a wicked person and you didn't do a lot of wicked shit, then you can go pretty freely. If you just treated people the way they treated you and got along for the most part, what do you have to be worried of? I mean, some people are excited to go to the next level. And I ain't saying, to kill yourself or nothing like that, but I'm saying it's nothing to be fearful of. And you should, that's where meditation helps you, because it shows you where you're going in eternity. I mean, I know where I'm going because I've been there. Every time I meditate, where I'm going, it opens up for me. And it's preparing me. Like when I give freely too. I give freely. You ain't never heard me coming on here asking for money, asking for likes and none of that shit. I do this because I enjoy doing it. I don't ask for anybody to buy any of my equipment. If people want to donate, that's great. But I don't come on here and asking because I don't, I got it. I got it. So, I live well. I can buy anything I want. I can't buy a helicopter. Can't buy a plane. I could buy a boat though. I definitely could buy a boat. And so, I have no need to come on here and be like, what was his name? Umar Johnson. Where's those donations? I need those donations. That's broke talk. Here's a motherfucker that travels all over the country and was found a scam artist, and then they gave him a second life. So doesn't that seem artificial? They booed him off the stage, and all of a sudden he was able to crawl back on stage and change the rhetoric up. And now he's got an excuse, well, I tried to let black people, build the school, and they all ripped me off. And that's the thing. One thing, Jeffrey Lane sent me Dr. Valentine is going to be on Billy Carson's show. And we know Billy Carson's full of wanting to sell you shit. Full of trying to scam you. Full of meet me in Egypt. And what did Sly said? He was charging 30 grand for the people to come to Egypt and teach some Pan-African shit. You got Indians looking at this Egyptian shit, Kemetic shit. And Kemet is really for Europeans to have a identity, to be ancient. Because what they say is, well, we got our history from the Greeks, and the Greeks got their history from Kemet. That's why they want Kemet to be alive. It ain't got nothing to do with us. It's how they got it. And I said, I wonder if Alexander the Great was really real, or was he just a sacrifice for them to go to Kemet? That's what it seems like. To open up India, Kemet, to the Greeks, to finally let the Greeks come over. And it could very well all this be an illusion. I mean, that's the part of meditating. It makes you see that this ain't real, that it's more. And I was lucky that this gift was given to me when I was 19, maybe 80, maybe the summer of 82. Yeah, the summer of 82. That's how long, my third eye has been open. That's how long the spirituality, and it's grown immensely. It's grown immensely. It's like when these entities come to you, they might only come to you once in your lifetime. But in that time they came to you, there's so much information downloaded. Like I said, talking about Kemet, but when I saw the Akhenaten statue back in 07, it did something to me. It reshaped my DNA. It gave me something. It was something. Those statues were meant for people to go in front of them, and they were giving you energy by you going in front of them. The common people, they were giving from these statues, and everybody, what the experience I have, everybody saw that shit. It didn't happen to them. So I look back as some reason I was chosen. I was chosen to experience what the statue was made for, to give you downloads. And I said before, even if you look at early man, and I talked over and over again about being the monkey king, but even like early man and how early man could have possibly taught is, these petroglyphs, and then these petroglyphs that during solstice, they'd hit a certain hole that they had created, and it would give a quick little reading during the solstice. And so that was a download For the people that looked at that they would come, they would worship around that, and then they would get that download. And the download maybe only be for a couple hours, but they got the download still. And so this was, a way that ancient man learned and taught more of his people to get the download at the same time. And we know technology, we're going backwards. They make it seem like we're going forward, but we know that the technology is backwards. Like crystal balls, crystal mirrors. These were forms of communication thousands of years ago. I mean, the obsidian mirror that was taken out of Mexico City, one of the priests saw the Spanish coming 10 years before they came. And when you see mirror, mirror on the wall, this was the mirrors they talking about is the crystal mirrors. You didn't have no glass mirrors trying to communicate. You had crystal mirrors made out of crystal, not glass. That's how they did it. And that's why they show the witches with it. But mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? But these were communications that they could do with each other. If I had a crystal mirror and you had a crystal mirror and we start gazing in the mirror, we're communicating. Like I've had multiple, when I got one of my mirror just showed me pictures of omics. I'm just gazing in the mirror. All of a sudden, omic heads came. It's like, whoa. And then one time I'm looking at it, I see an omic with a beard. And up to that point, I had never seen an omic in a beard. Then I get the books and stuff. Boom. Here's a picture of an omic with a beard. Omen with the beard. So these are messages that you can get, messages that they used in communication devices. And the same with the crystal balls. That's why they took all that stuff from Montezuma. They've taken Montezuma's skulls, and I was saying, the skulls that they found all had abilities they can't even explain, especially the skulls that were two parts, where the bottom jaw and the skull part, and they put them together, and they would find it chattering. They would find music coming out of these skulls that they can't explain. The skull would basically start chattering. And they don't know how they're made, for number one. They don't even know how these are made. They imitated how they're made, but to look at those skulls, they don't even know how they're made. So, cell phone is a touch tone. Cell phone is a touch tone. Yeah, well, it's radio. Basically, it's a modified radio. And it doesn't seem like cell phones come from satellites when we know that they've got wires. They've been had power lines that go under the ocean and go to Europe, go to Asia, on both sides. You got like some parts of America, you don't even have electrical wires. Everything is underground. Now, in the back of me, I have some electrical wires, but that's very few. Now, when you live where all the black folks live on the north side, you see plenty of electrical wires all through there. But most of these suburbs, you don't even see power lines because everything is underground. And that's how those gases, the radon, that's where radon comes from. Radon comes from all the pipes and all the wires in the ground. It's a man-made poison that they've invented. It comes from everything that they put in the ground over the last 100 years. That's where radon comes from. That's kind of the earth kind of poison us for the poison they put in the earth. So radon is basically man-made. But there's ways to, siphon it off. The last house I bought, part of the deal was they were going to pay so much of putting the new radon system in, because it's just like a vent. That's all. So if the radon tests high, you can buy, I think it's $400. And what they do is they put a radon vent outside of your house, or they connect it to your house, and it pushed the radon in the air. So it's not harmful to you. So, but this is the time to really work on your spirituality, because that's something that they can't take away. That's something that will always be with you through eternity, is whatever spirituality you choose. But it's like, I have this statue up here of Hathor, and it's like I have a conversation with it, and I'm like, when I die, and if I see a figure that looks like you trying to get me to follow it, I know that ain't you. I know that's not going to be you. It's the same thing I say when you see Jesus, or you think it's Father God or whatever, and they're trying to take you into the light or trying to take you somewhere. That ain't how it works. And I know Bomber gets mad and says, run away from the light. And then, yeah, definitely run away from the light. You don't want, this is your soul making the choice. Because again, you follow the light, then you build this magic castle. And then one day this giant monster comes and chews up your castle. And there you are, just floating in space because you followed Jesus or whatever you followed. And then you're in space, and you know what happens? You end up getting eaten by something else. Or you put your energy into something else because you feel lonely and you don't know what else to do. You're just a soul stuck in space with no direction, no paradise. Because that's the false of what they give you. And then something else will come and vampire you because you don't know what else to do. And all you know is to stick to something. Whereas if you create your own, you take your own journey. And you go home to where you visited it enough in your lifetime to say, nah, that ain't the colors that come to me. I go to something deeper. I go somewhere else. That's where I'm going. I'm going there, the place I go to all the time. That's what's for me. And the light I see is not white, blinding light. Because white light is blinding. Just like dark is you can't see, but white light is the opposite. It's blinding. Blinding white light. That's the way they describe it. So, well, I think I'm gonna call it. 2 hours is probably more than long enough. I'll come back Sunday. We'll have kind of and I'm going with the Eagles, but I am going to also have look at everything, how they're setting it up. And so I'll be back on Sunday like I normally am. And if I feel motivated, maybe one afternoon I'll come on. We'll see. So thank you so much for the comments. Thank you so much for the attention. I appreciate it. I do. And, I give freely, and I'm easy to get in contact with. I ain't hiding from nobody. So I try to answer most spiritual questions that come through. But if you have any other one, you can just leave comments. It's pretty easy to get in touch with me. So